Hey guys, today we're going to install this tail tidy number plate holder onto the Tenere 700. As I said, that's going to replace the big daggy Yamaha unit. The number plate will then be up here and it should look a lot cleaner. First thing I need to do is take off the pillion seat and also the main rider seat. Take a 4mm Allen key. There is one included in there, but it's a pain to get out. Okay, now we need to remove the whole rear guard, starting with these tidy-on points, which are T40 Torx. The 8mm socket, you want to take off both plastic side plates. Okay, so it looks like we've got 5 4mm Allen key bolts up on the top here. There's one of those little push-in fasteners on each side, in the same spot on each side. They need to come out as well. Just push in the centre of them and they'll pop out. So it looks like we've got 3 8mm bolts on each side underneath the rear fender here to take off. 1, 2, 3, and same on the other side. Once you've got all those bolts out and the 2 push pins, it's just a matter of sliding the fender backwards out of the little clip that holds it. And it's out the way. So now we need to unplug the wiring for the tail light and everything here. You just need to lift up these little clips to unplug those guys. Alright, with a 10mm spanner, I'm going to undo these 2 bolts here to remove the tail light assembly. Okay, so with these nuts removed, we can unclip the wiring down here. There's 4 10mm bolts underneath here that we need to undo as well. With those 4 bolts removed, we should be able to remove the entire assembly here from the bike. Okay, so now we need to remove the stock blinkers and mount them into the B&B unit. So it looks like we've got 3 8mm bolts here to undo. If you have a number plate installed, you'll need to remove it too, obviously. And 1 more 8mm bolt holding underneath the number plate. Okay, so to remove the blinkers, there's just a rubber clips on either side holding a plastic piece there. Once that's off, should be able to work it out with the hole. I just need to cut that zip tie and pull the wiring through as well. There's another zip tie on here that you need to cut. You can remove the tail light assembly. Now we've discovered that before we remove the blinkers we need to get the wiring fully out. So there's a couple of 5mm Allen key bolts here for starters. Now these 4 8mm bolts. Another 8mm bolt underneath, or on top actually. Whoa, that's a lot of pieces. Okay, so we'll put all this wiring through here. One more zip tie to cut. Two more zip ties to cut. And I'll just feed all these wires through here. Now we have to remember to make note of which indicator is the left and right because they've got the opposite plugs on each end. So this one is the left, right? Yes. So just so I don't forget, I'll mount the indicator straight in to its correct side. Don't forget your little plastic retainer. Okay, repeat for the other side. Okay, so with the bolts that we removed from the underside, the 10mm bolts, we'll use those to attach the top plate, the B&B top plate. Camera girl's doing such a good job today. Okay, so we need to remove this tail light mounting plate from the old plastic unit. The 8mm, two 8mm bolts there. And using those same bolts, we'll attach it to the B&B unit, just like so. Right, so now we're going to throw in the tail light assembly again. Don't forget your nuts and washers. So now we need to mount up the number plate light with the included screws and nuts. Feed this through, making sure you've got the LEDs on the bottom, of course. Feed the wiring through that middle hole. So I need a Phillips screwdriver, and I think it's a 6mm spanner for the back, but I'm just using a shifter because it's what I've got handy. Right, so we've just bolted up the lower piece of the number plate holder, those two bolts. You feed the indicator wires out, there's a little cut slot in there to feed those out, and then they come up to the top here, and then all four of your cables get fed down back where they were. All we have to do is use a pen on the back side through these holes here to mark where we need to drill our holes in the number plate so we can mount that up. Alright, we've drilled the number plate and hopefully it's nice and straight. So the bolts that hold the number plate on obviously hold the back of the bottom piece to the rest of the tail tidy. Alright guys, so with the number plate light, if you want to keep the original plug, you need to cut it off of the old number plate light. So I'm just going to leave about as much wire as what we've got with the other ones. Cut that off, back the insulation a little bit, cut that off a bit shorter. Now of course we've got different coloured wiring, so we've got to figure out which one goes onto which. Alright, so we're soldering the wires together here. Black goes to white, which makes perfect sense to me. Blue to brown, we've tested it, that's the way it works. Now we'll just insulate that with a bit of electrical tape and zip tie all these wires up inside nice and neat, and we'll be ready to put it back together. Alright guys, so before we staple it all back together, just make sure everything's working. Obviously tail light and brake light are working, and the number plate light's working. Left blinker, right blinker. Okay, so now we're just going to tidy up these wires. Obviously we've got a bit of excess here, so we'll just use a zip tie to tidy all that up, and then we'll button it back up. Alright guys, then we're going to fit the rear guard cover. Again, you want to make sure that you slot this tab into the little bracket at the back here, for starters. And then basically we've just got all the bolts to put back in, so we'll rip through that real quick. Alright guys, we've put the 6 bolts underneath the fender, the 5 Allen key bolts in the top here, and also the 2 little pushy pin things. Now we're going to put the solid plates back on, and we're almost done. Seats going on, and we'll be done. Pretty much replaced all that plastic garbage there with this neat little unit. So we'll just check one more time, make sure everything's still working. Lovely. Thanks for watching, hope the video helps you out a bit. It's not too bad of a job, went pretty smoothly. Good on your B&B. Cheers.